Okay, real boring footage of me welding. The camera may just decide it doesn't want to operate anymore. It kind of has a mind of its own. Probably some settings on there I could do to fix that, but I don't know how. So, watch your eyes. Bottom bracket's really thick, so you gotta keep it up quite a bit. Don't have to melt the tubes next to it. Totally missed. Off to a great start. Nice recovery. The reason why there's no close-ups is the camera I'm using, you can't really do a close-up. It's a Canon Rebel. And it's a really nice camera I bought for selling things on eBay. And I really have no plans of making videos, anything that I do. But here we are, making videos. So I'll just do the best I can with what I got. I don't feel like spending money. Clean it really good, try to get all the contamination out as you can. exciting. Crap on myself this morning. Flipping one of these over right on my grill. But you get done good after a while. I'm going to put myself on fire or burn myself welding. When you're welding two different thicknesses of metal, that's a problem. You got to kind of keep it on the bigger, thicker material and roll it up into the thinner stuff. And if you don't do it, then you get a hole, especially on the edges. It likes to do that. So you just kind of back it out, and fill it in a little bit, and go over it. And it doesn't look too terrible. See, good as new. Okay, I kind of get warmed up doing the bottom bracket, and then as I go further along, it starts to look better and better. Well, I am getting a lot better. Somebody's calling. Don't want to break the expensive camera. Not the budget. I did find the stand that it's on, trail riding, and I used sandwich bag twist ties that I found in a pile of garbage to tie it to my handlebars of my bike. And then I rode like another 30-40 miles with it on my bicycle. And you're the beneficiary of that. Pound on this thing with a hammer, bend this down. Whoops. Got to tap that in with the hammer. It's my high-tech frame building. Alright, let's go sharpen up that tungsten. Oh, don't put the gun on the metal. Had to wrap it in electrical tape. Kept electrocuting myself with this thing. It still works. Why buy a new one? Just wrap it in electrical tape. Fixes lots of stuff. Right? Yes. Whoa. I've seen people use all kinds of stuff to hold the frame with a weld on it. Just found this metal table works good for me. Everybody's got their own jam. Tried using a bike stand. Didn't really like that very much. This is the spot. Meow. Don't want to do what I just did. Oh my, that little hole to fill up in there. Here's a bit of a contortion rack though. Missed anything? Okay, starting to kind of come together. Let's inspect to make sure we passed all the way around. Looks good. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna get the camera out of the way because I gotta lay it down the other direction. Meow. What is it? What do you want? Hello, speak cat. Oh, goodness. Got a little pinhole there. Darn it. There we go. dropouts are a little thin. I think they'll be good, but probably should have machined another set after I made them, but I didn't. Let's put the wheel in there. It'll probably be plenty strong. Oh boy. Whew. So far, so good. So these were a little off the head tube. They're too close, and I did burn through a couple of them. So what I'm doing now is trying to weld that. Trying to be real careful and just go slow. Just get it in there, and then I can weld the rest. That's the real critical piece, though. Not gonna be. I already did one half. Now I gotta do the other. Get in there. Throw a couple of these. Let it cool. See, it already started to eat away at the material. So I gotta be really careful finishing that so I don't have a shit show on my hands. Get it at the right angle. It's almost impossible to get that sweet angle with this. Oh, I'm farting too. It's good for our viewers. If it was a little longer, it would be okay because it wouldn't warp the material. But fucked up. What do you want? This ain't no professionally built frame. This is some backyard shenanigans, and you know it's okay. It's gonna be perfect. Oh, got it. Okay, let's see. That's all right. I blew a hole through the thick shit right there. That's no good. Gotta get that plug. Oh boy. Messing up. It's all messed up. Too late now. Yeah. Haven't blown a hole through it yet, but I've come close. Oh boy. Someone who really knew what they were doing would probably be a big deal, but for me it's challenging. Okay, that's pretty good. I got it. So I can kind of creep away from it now. Keep dipping the tungsten into the bite. There it is. Okay. Ugly, but it'll suffice. And that's underneath the fork there. You won't see it. See, if it was just, I wanted to make the head tube short. Because I've had issues with getting forks to fit, and people that have gotten the frames from me have had issues with getting forks to fit, so I went 5.5, but should have been 5.8 or 5 3/4, then it wouldn't have been an issue. Could have moved that one down. I don't know. Live and learn. It's all good. Turned off the camera for a big chunk of it just because I didn't want to deal with it anymore. We're doing that. Probably sound totally insane. I just mumble to myself a lot. Can't help it at this point. I read a book on stress, and I have a bunch of the symptoms. That's fantastic. Whatever. Who cares? Everybody's a freak under scrutiny. Just get over it. Whoa. Okay, sure. Okay. C- on that little section. I am pleased with my improvement. I'll show you some of my welds. The camera will allow it. Some of them look like actual welds you see on a bike that you buy, and then some of them look like the guy who was welding them was on PCP. Same guy. Not really 100% consistent yet, but I'm trying. I doubt that is clear, but I doubt you can see any of that. It looks fuzzy in the camera. Probably some of the better stuff I've done. Yes, Mamau. You want something. It's looking pretty cool. So, if you're unfamiliar with the lawwill, there'll be another bar that goes like that. And then something down in there. And a brake bridge. And then we do all the finish work and hone out the seat tube to put a post in it. And these things are done. So, I got one more to go. Made a lot of progress. And it's been pretty rewarding so far. I see you. What is it, Mamau? What is it? What do you want? Kitty Mamau. He's saying, turn off the camera and feed me. Okay. Alright, it's Halloween. You can hear the sirens. I'm hiding in the back of my house. I used to be so gung-ho about Halloween, but I don't like doing it anymore. I'll explain more in a sec. Anyway, frames are all welded. I'm on to the sundries. Each one's got their little cross member, chainstay bridge, brake bridge, and then those are all the same part number, those derailleur bits. And I'm gonna cut them and use them for the hanger. I found them all at the shop, all the same, just laying around off of broken shit. So you should be able to thread a derailleur in there. I didn't have to spend any money, which is nice. So this one's gonna get welded up first because it's the last one I finished welding. That makes a lot of sense. And then you gotta do straightening and then remount the seat tube and probably some cleanup, you know. But yeah, that's about it. What do you want? What is it? Hi. Why aren't you out killing rodents? Go do your job. So that's where we're at. Coming along pretty cool. Alrighty. I got those little pieces tacked in. That was a giant pain in the ass. So yeah, Halloween. I used to love Halloween. I make my own costumes. I made props. I'd scare the piss out of these kids. Used to do all kinds of stuff. Over time, though, I just got disenchanted with it. And now, in the neighborhood that I've lived in for decades now, it's just not really the same dynamic. Kids are so overweight. They're being shuttled in a minivan from house to house with candy. And they really need to be riding bikes and eating broccoli. Okay, and I just can't in good conscience be passing out more little sugar diabetic death biscuits to children. And there's an obesity epidemic in our country. Yeah, that's just kind of where I got to it. It wasn't fun anymore. All the store-bought costumes, I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm just being an old fuck, reminiscing, but whatever. I'm just saying. It's just not. It's not as hands-on anymore. You're just buy some garbage and then put it on. And candy that you pretty much probably every day already now. So, I don't know. I just don't really see any reason to participate in something that doesn't have any soul in it anymore. am hiding in the back of my house, welding bike frames. Instead, all the lights are off in the shed. No one knocked on the door, so that's that. It's okay, nothing lasts forever. So, happy Halloween and all that shit. And when I got older, I started going to like clubs with my friends. I tell you, every time I went out, and I was doing absolutely nothing, I would just turn around and some girl would throw her drink in my face. One time I got off the elevator, like the door opened at the elevator, and then some girl threw her drink in my face. I just got there. I'm like, fuck this shit. So I'm not doing it anymore. I don't know what the hell's going on. Plus, I've been straight edge my whole life. I tried alcohol twice when I was 15. Never done any drugs. My whole life, never smoked a cigarette. And tried weed or any of that dumb shit, whatever. Not my jam. And when you are sober and you are around people that are drunk and high, they are annoying as all of you now. They don't know it. They're really annoying. And it was no fun. I went along with it. You know, when you're in your early 20s, you do that. Whatever. But now that I'm in my 50s, so much. I don't really have a problem with it. I mean, my fridge is full of beer for my friends who like to drink. That's their prerogative. It doesn't put me on a higher moral plateau than anything else, but if you're sober and you're around people that aren't, they can try your patience. Let's just put it that way. They certainly can. We're getting to the tail end of this one, except for straightening and just a little cleanup. Not much. You know, the better you miter as well, the better your miters are, the better your welds are. The better your welds are, the less cleanup we're going to do. So I'm trying to get to that point where my miters are all really good and my welds show the proof. Not there yet. Much closer now than I've ever been. So, I'm pretty happy about that. Definitely pleased with what I'm making. Rest your hand. Pull the bead. Pull the bead. Now hot. So you get this orange color, that's contamination. So either some part of your material is contaminated, the weld rod is contaminated, tungsten's possibly contaminated. So you got to keep track of that. Try to figure out where it's coming from. The metal is really contaminated. You just flat out can't do a nice weld on it. Pop, fizzle. It's not going to look good, but it's going to look good. This is the case. This is all brand new steel combo of chromoly. Stuff that most bikes are made out of. I made a bunch of bikes out of the cheap shit, and they've held up pretty good. I ride every bike I've gotten into the ground, so that's a testament to the materials. That's something to say. Sharp. See a couple mistakes. Alright, there's one welded up. Came out okay. I started to kind of fumble the ball at the end. I probably shouldn't be welding at the end of the night, but whatever. Anything to avoid handing out Snickers bars to obese children. I know that's mean, but It's the truth. But back to the bike. Lawwill Pro Cruiser clone. It looks pretty cool. Needs a little cleanup, straightening. Yeah. There's got the, I don't know if you can see that, but the thing for the derailleur. So this is gonna be the drum brake type. They made two types, one with canties and one with drums. I have a set of drums, so I'm gonna do this. And plus, hey, it's less welding fabrication for me to do. So this one's about 90% finished. Like I said, there's a bit more cleanup to do. You got to hone the seat tube there, and some of that second bar up there don't look great. I'm gonna clean it up. One side down here came out nice, and the other side I just totally blurred it up. So I'll smooth all that out, and yeah, there you go. It's a bike. Pretty neat. So at this point though, I pause on, in the video you won't notice, but I have rims and stuff I'm going to get anodized and build it up. So they're not even at the anodizer yet, so I'm going to get all that sorted out. And then whenever that's done, I'm going to come back to these. I'm going to finish them all and get them around, out and about. But this one's going to be my personal bike, and I'm just going to mothball it until I get all my parts built up. I got to find stuff. So that's the goal. That's where we're at right now. Thanks. Okay, there they are, all finished. It took quite a while to get the seat posts honed out to 26.2, which I think is the original Lawwill Pro Cruiser diameter. And yeah, they're done. Serial numbered, and with the word copy stamped in the bottom bracket, because once they leave my hands, I don't know what's going to happen. And they're pretty rare bikes, so it'd be hard to tell if somebody painted one up or whatever. They could pass it off for the real deal. There are enough subtle differences for the trained eye to know the difference, but not for someone who isn't steeped in all this vintage BMX mountain bike nerddom. So complete, all done. Talk over traffic. So I just went ahead and put it together. I didn't go through all the steps because I'm just painting. I got $11 into paint, and the anodizing, I did a whole bunch of stuff, but each piece came out to $5 a piece. But there was a lot, so it was $1,200 worth of anodizing. But you're talking seat posts and stems and everything else. So, hey, what's up?
What do you want to put it on?
What's that? Okay, part 2. Lawwill Pro Cruiser clone. I have some motorcycle handlebars on there I got for 10 bucks, and I extended them because they were cut down. There may be a scotch too wide. Ridiculous motorcycle brake levers. Drum brake, Atom front, high flange, low flange, 40-hole rear with a 36-hole hoop, and it didn't come out very good for obvious reasons. It has doesn't have holes on the low flange. It has a slot, so it's really hard to get the spokes to stay in. And then with dissimilar holes, that was a bear. I got one I'm gonna fix up and put in there instead, but it came out really good. I've rode it quite a bit already. It's a great fire road bike, mountain bike. Probably needs a triple in the front to be more doable, but it's pretty cool. I mean, a real one goes for what? 4 grand, 5 grand now? Shit. So, anyway, there you go. That's the completed project. Hope you enjoy. And don't forget, stay rad.